Hello, guys. Welcome to Book Review 360. And in this video, I'll be talking about 10 themes in the novel 1984 by George Orwell. Uh, Stay with me till end because after the end of this video, you will be able you will be in a good position to talk about the main themes in this dystopian novel. But before those themes, I'll be giving you a bit background about George Orwell and the world he was living or talking about, so that you can analyze those themes in context. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to Book Review 360 already, then do subscribe to get the latest. So, without further ado, let's start off. So, some background about the author. George Orwell was born in India and grew up in England. And after school, he joined the civil services and he worked as a sergeant in the police force. He saw British imperialism firsthand in India and was appalled at the oppression he witnessed. He chose to live among the lower classes for 1 year, and he became a socialist and moved to Spain but was kicked out of the Communist Party. In 1945, he wrote Animal Farm, which was a political satire. And in 1984, the novel 1984 was published in 1949. So moving on, what's 1984 about? We should know a bit about this. So 1984 is a novel of psychological terror that warns us about a future where the government controls everything and individual rights are taken away. The novel was a response to totalitarian governments of Stalin, Hitler, and Mussolini. The world of 1984 is a negative utopia, famously known as a dystopia, and the main character, Winston Smith, tries to rebel against the society which is ruled by the iron fist of Big Brother. And Winston Smith begins his rebellion with the simple act of writing his journal, which of course is illegal because you don't have the luxury to think freely in the society controlled by the Big Brother. So just brainstorm for a moment and think that, do you still live in such a world? So let's move on a bit more on the world which George Orwell was talking about. All citizens in 1984, in the dystopian world of 1984, are monitored by telescreens, which are present in all homes and workplaces. And the government is represented by Big Brother. And the Big Brother is a figure who sees everything. He's omnipresent, literally omnipresent. So, laws are enforced by the thought police who arrest and vaporize anyone who even thinks disruptive thoughts. History is constantly rewritten so that the predictions of Big Brother will never be wrong. Citizens are constantly asked to show their allegiance by engaging in rallies and meetings to support Big Brother. Hatred for the enemies of Big Brother is encouraged through the use of propaganda. The society of Oceania is constantly at war with other countries, or so Big Brother says. And so the society which the plot of the novel is called Oceania. It is a state, and there are other states also. And Oceania is constantly at war with one state or another. And Big Brother tells the people that we are at war, and he incites and excites the passions of war in the people. So a few terms from 1984 which have become a jargon in our daily lives, in literature, in newspaper. So double think means the ability to believe in two contradictory things at the same time. Next is newspeak. Newspeak was the language of Oceania, and it was a very restrictive language in which the thought, the horizon of your thought was being limited uh, by leaps and bounds. The words were constricted so that the meanings, the open thought is discouraged. Ingsoc is Oceania's form of government. Thought crime is literally anything that thinking anti-party thought. So if you think of anything that is against the party values and mores, then that is a thought crime. Even if you haven't done it, it's a crime already that you have even thought about it. uh, Inner party, outer party, those closest to big brother and those on the outside. So those closest to big brother are in the inner party. Proles are the lower classes who live in a separate part of the city. Winston Smith, the protagonist. Winston Smith is a normal, insignificant, lonely man in a world that is devoid of creativity and color. He feels that something is missing in his life and wants to break free, constantly paranoid that he will be discovered and arrested for thought crime because he was writing a diary. And he was once married in his earlier life, and now he works in the records department. So that was the theme of and plot of the 1984. And let's talk about the 10 themes in 1984, and you will really enjoy it because these will resonate to you in even these times and days. So the first theme is totalitarianism. Totalitarianism is one of the major themes of the novel 1984. It presents the type of government where even the head of the government is unknown to the public. I mean, in the novel, uh, only the posters of Big Brother are there. I mean, people haven't seen the Big Brother in actuality. So this theme serves as a warning to the people because such regime unleashes propaganda to make people believe in the lies presented by the government. Throughout the novel, there is no proof of Big Brother's existence in Oceania. The party exercises complete control not only on the sexual lives of their not only on the sexual lives of their citizens, such as Julia's and Winston Smith, but also on their thoughts, feelings, and even writing a diary, which is not even an act of rebellion, but in Oceania under Big Brother, it is considered a thought crime. The overall monitoring and surveillance of the people through telescreens and subversion of history through the Ministry of Truth are some of the common casualties of such regimes. The third casualty of the totalitarian regime is the truth through language. This happens in the shape of mottos such as war is peace. So these are the main themes. I have just discussed the first theme, which is totalitarianism, and the other themes which I'll be talking about are number two, propaganda; number three, subversion of reality; number four, subversion of love and feelings; number five, love, loss of identity and independence; number six, political loyalty; number seven, class system; number eight, controlled information and rewriting of history; number nine, use of technology; and number 10, use and abuse of language. So I discussed totalitarianism already, and it is when in the novel, even the head of the government is unknown to the public. Throughout the novel, there is no proof of Big Brother's existence, and the casualties of this type of regime are three. There is number one, there is lack of privacy; number two, subversion of history; and number three, truth is wiped out completely, it's effaced. So theme number two, propaganda. Propaganda is another major theme of 1984. The novel clearly shows the way propaganda is used to control people, along with its impacts and pitfalls. Orwell has presented this theme through an organized propaganda machine of the Ministry of Truth in Oceania. Winston Smith is also involved in this propaganda. His work requires distortion of facts and truths and altering historical facts and then propagate them throughout the country. It means that the party wants to have complete control over the thoughts and actions of the public. This propaganda has also invented new information and new words such as 2 minutes hate speech, Big Brother is watching, and some new mottos. The objective of propaganda is to make people loyal to the party and the country. So that was about theme number two, which was propaganda. And now we will move on to theme number three, which is subversion of reality. Subversion of reality is another major theme of this novel. The novel has presented most people living in abject poverty, while others are engaged in working against each other. The children are spying on the adults with what they have learned in spies groups. Winston Smith has been taught not to enjoy a life of love and sex in romances. The language is turned topsy turvy to make people believe in what they do not know. The facts are turned into lies, and then these lies are disseminated as truths. The public memory is being manipulated with new information that further alienate the people from reality. So that was theme number three. Now let's move on to theme number four, which is subversion of love and feelings. Another theme is subversion of love and feelings, of course. It means that the people are taught not to love and to curb their feelings or any passions of love. According to the regime, sex is just a duty to the government or duty to the party, strictly speaking, and sex should only be used as a tool for procreation and not as an instrument of pleasure. It means Winston Smith needs to engage in sex only to produce children for the party. This has led to his failed marriage with Catherine and his rebellion by loving Julia and thus engaging with her intimately. The memory of his mother realizes Winston about the love of parents from which the party has deprived him. In fact, his loveless life shows how the totalitarian regimes destroy family, love, and individuals' lives to make the ruling class strong. Theme number five, loss of identity and independence. Totalitarian governments often adopt strategies that make people lose identities and independence so that the citizens will not question the supremacy of the governing class, thus proving that totalitarianism, which is one of the major themes in the novel, has ripped people of their own personality. The uniformity of food, clothes, and what people hear and absorb in 1984 shows that the party and its supposed head, the Big Brother, are engaged in erasing the individualities and identities. Winston Smith's feeling of criminality in writing his diary is a dangerous act. The final torture scene when O'Brien confronts Winston to erase his integrity and his significant resistance brings out response from O'Brien. He explains Winston Smith that he is the last man on earth if he is harboring rebellious thoughts. That is, he will be killed. This is an example of how individuality and identity are not tolerated in totalitarian regimes. Theme number six, political loyalty. Political loyalty is another overarching theme that pervades 1984. It is present from the beginning till the end. Winston Smith is a loyal employee, yet he harbors thoughts against the party and questions most of the information he is asked to feed. However, loyalty in Oceania does not expect only work dedication. They want every person to become loyal to the point of submissiveness with unconditional obedience. O'Brien, a secret thought police, is an example of such a loyal person. He senses rebellion in Winston Smith and befriends him, then hands him over to the police to brainwash him. He warns Winston that it is the party whose perspective will prevail, what he might do or not do. This is the loyalty that the omnipresent Big Brother wants from the people in 1984. Theme number seven, class system. Another pervasive theme of this novel is class system. It means that Oceania is divided into three classes. There is inner party that is considered the elite class, having luxurious lifestyle and having servants at their disposal. The ordinary members, like Winston Smith, on the other hand, live in state-run small apartments with no permission to enjoy conjugal or familial lives, and these constitute the middle class. The poor class or the lower class are the people living in the no go areas with constant propaganda to feed them with lies and program their minds to believe them as truths. This is why O'Brien thinks that the society beyond the suburban areas is living in a single moment, for the party defines and controls this society based on a class system. Theme number eight, controlled information and rewriting of history. In the state of Oceania, there is a single party system where only the party rules with its leader, the Big Brother. It broadcasts, manages, and distributes information and controls the people. Though the information is taken from history, it is rewritten to suit the current occasion. Even Winston Smith has a hard time thinking why the diary writing is punishable. The people are becoming unsure and then sure that they are members of a great government, the party. O'Brien also harbors the same notions due to the subversion of information and rewriting of the history. Theme number 9, use of technology. Now this is what you can relate even today the most. Orwell has shown another theme, that the use of technology for governing the people can be very hazardous. In this novel, the writer shows that the party uses telescreens and some other apparatus as one of the primary tools to control the public. The use of technology to monitor people is very much present in this century, as George Orwell had predicted in 1984. Theme number 10, use and abuse of language. Language is very important for mental and physical control. The party has employed language to control the masses. The use of words such as newspeak, doublethink, inksock, and various other words speak volumes about this tactic. O'Brien and William Smith are engaged in the ministry of truth to use and abuse language to rewrite history and distort facts for public consumption. So these were the 10 themes that I wanted to share with you guys, which Orwell put down in 1984. I hope you enjoyed the theme, and stay tuned and subscribe for the latest videos. And do post a comment if you like the video. Thank you.